It's 2024, and of course, new year brings new ideas, new resolutions, new opportunities. And if you're thinking of beginning a business this year, there could be some major mistakes that new entrepreneurs make that you might want to avoid. Let me take you through some of the major mistakes that business people make, especially startups, and how you're going to avoid them. I believe each and every one of us has a business idea that they would like to start. Whether you don't have a job or you're already employed, you might have something that you'd like to start, especially given the right favorable conditions such as capital, a good location, a supportive circle, and maybe also the right mental space. Anyway, when you speak about business ideas, it just sounds simple, but now when it comes to the ground, you realize that things may prove otherwise. There's a big difference between having a business idea and planning towards starting that business and actually executing that business on the ground. So here are some of the major mistakes that new entrepreneurs make, and I'll admit that I could be guilty of some of them. So the first one, this is the Superman or Superwoman syndrome. Ask any entrepreneur around and they'll admit that a new business is like a small child. It needs to be nurtured, it needs to be fed, it needs to be taken care of. But then there's this debate on when exactly are you supposed to start delegating roles, especially roles inside the business, because you can begin at a place where you're doing everything, but then later as your business grows, you have to learn to start delegating some of these roles. But then the challenge comes in, especially where somebody starts feeling insecure about giving away some of the roles because they feel like they're the best people to execute. Just the way someone will feel insecure about giving away their own child is the same way a business owner, especially startup who started on their own, feel when it comes to delegating some of the roles, especially on the management. Not everybody will understand your vision or your passion very well, but if you're at a position where you feel like you are not able to delegate or give away some roles, find a mentor who is already experienced in that field that you're already in, and then this person shall give you direction on where to go, especially at that stage that you are. The second one is getting stuck on the idea stage and not the execution. Ideas are very good, but the difference between you building those castles in the air and your vision that is right ahead of you is the execution here at the middle. Start drafting a workable plan of how you're going to achieve some of your goals. Have a simple business model that is clear and precise and straightforward. Avoid complicated plans or things that are not really achievable. Just work on small plans bit by bit. See how you're going to achieve all of those goals slowly by slowly, and that is the perfect execution plan. Your idea doesn't have to be something that is coming from the moon or is very unique. It just has to be able to solve even the most basic problems in a unique way. Like for example, opening a restaurant is not something that is new, it's normal. But then if you come across a person making some good loaded fries online, they're pouring in them cheesy mixtures, you'll definitely want to go and try out that restaurant and see how that goes. And that's what business is like. Whatever is already in the market, see how you can come up with a unique way of doing your own stuff, and then boom, you have your ordinary business idea delivered in a unique way. The third one is poor financial management. Generally, this is you being not far-sighted in your financial decisions. While most people assume that a new business always starts from the bottom, there are also businesses that begin with good business right from day one, especially people who are able to come up with a very good promotional campaign before they even open their doors. Any decision that you'll be able to make at this point where you are having so good sales right from day one is very crucial for the future of that business. I imagine somebody who has opened a business right from day one and they're bombarded with good profits. And then after a few while, or maybe a period of like 3 months, you see someone already has bought a new car. Somebody, maybe they've already vacated from their old house, they've moved into a new house. Somebody has already taken a vacation down to Zanzibar to see how Tanzania looks like. These are poor financial decisions, especially at the initial stages of your business. Personally, I feel like there are 4 best ways in which you can be able to invest this money to ensure that you'll always have a good supply of money even in the long run, especially for a good business. Number 1 is reinvesting back into the business. Invest more into that marketing because it has shown to bear fruits. Thirdly, you can invest in a more efficient team. I'm very sure within your team you might have some people who are maybe unreliable or people who are not well skilled. You can use some of these finances in coming up with a better team that can deliver better results. Well, sometimes experience takes time. Being a new person in that kind of business, there's always something that you do not know. The mistakes which happen for you to know the consequences, and there are also mistakes that you can avoid through being wise, having the wisdom and the knowledge on how to tackle them. So invest in your education, invest on how you are going to be more knowledgeable, take classes, go for seminars, invest in anything that gives you more knowledge on how to become better as a business person, and also how to deal with any challenge that may come your way. Fourth challenge is people remaining down when they fall. Failure is not a good thing, but it's normal and it's also good. Failing is not a matter of if you will fail or not. Failure is a matter of when it's going to happen. And I feel like failure is a continuous process, especially if you're a person who is going through various stages of growth. It could be in different dimensions. It could be maybe from the people who you chose as partners, the people who you are depending on to maybe give you some capital to do something and then they failed you after that. It could be the team that you hired to work with you, somebody who is a supplier, they end up conning you, or even being given counterfeit goods. In most cases, some of these failures lead to you having a dent in your pocket, and if I'm being honest, bankrupt. How to go about this is that you just develop a positive mindset. Overcoming failure helps you go stronger and your business will definitely benefit from it. This is because you're going to set strategies and measures to make sure that it doesn't happen again. So in the long run, it will prove worthwhile. Number 5, now this is the most interesting one. This is where now people try and maintain their normal lifestyles even after opening a business. Continuing to have your normal lifestyle even after opening your business is impossible in every way. Let us look at some of the examples. 1, it will require you to cut back on your social life. If you're the kind of person who expects that from Friday evening, you just disappear and then you resurrect on Monday, if you're that kind of person, you'll have to stop doing that. Maybe you are a salaried person and you used to get your salary at the end of the month. It was enough to sustain your bills. But then, remember, being in business, your salary does not keep flowing as it used to before. But now, you have rental space to pay. I advise business people, apart from the stock that you have bought, at least try and make sure you have at least 6 months of rent stashed away. Unless you're those guys who take a shop and then they slash half of it, leave at the back, and then at the front is the shop, you're going to be needed to pay 2 rents, both your place where you live and also your business premise. Number 2, there are those who open a business after seeking funds from investors. So you have investors breathing down your neck. They have invested their money into your business and they want to see if their money is going to be recovered back. So you cannot afford to fail them. Number 3, you might have secured a loan. The bank requires you to start paying right from the first month after you have taken the loan. So that also needs to be paid. Number 4, you have supplies that needs to be replenished each and every time. When clients come to your business, you'll always realize that there's something they're asking for that you do not have. You also need money to make sure that is also stocked. You will be having a team that helps you run your day-to-day activities. So you have people to pay. All these payments need to be fulfilled by you at the end of the month. And on top of all of this, imagine you having people who are dependent on you. So people shouldn't think that their life is going to be the same, especially after opening a business. Sacrifices have to be made, and those sacrifices will be made by you. Number 6 is where people ignore the potential competition. People tend to think that even if there's competition out there, they feel like they are better than even other people out there. Well, that could be the case. It's not always true, because there's always somebody out there who is already doing something similar to yours, and maybe even they could be better. And in any case where you do not have competition in whatever you are doing, in this 21st century, there's nothing like a monopolized business idea. A monopolized business idea is that thing that you're the only person doing it. When you have that business idea where you feel like you're the only person doing it, you have to understand that there are people out there who do not have ideas and they're hunting for one. So immediately they come across what you do, they try and see how you do this business and maybe spot some of your weaknesses, go and improve on them, and then try to come back with something better than what you do. Make sure you do enough research on who your competition is, what your potential threats are, whatever loophole that you're trying to fill with that business of yours, make sure you fill it to the brim. Last but not least, number 7, is over-reliance of a single business idea. While having a single business idea is easier for you as a startup, but then as you advance, it's good to be open-minded and also far-sighted. And here are some of the reasons why you're not supposed to be depending on a single business idea. Number 1 is consumer preference. Customers tend to prefer different stuff. So if in your business you're able to offer variety, the better. Number 2 is adaptability to the changing market conditions. What people need today is not what they might need tomorrow. What you could be giving people is not what they could be needing. So if you are a person who is far-sighted, you'll realize that sometimes it's not about you as a business person, but mainly about what exactly you are giving people. People might not need the product that you have, and it's okay sometimes to stop selling that product and venture into another product line. I have been observing several companies, especially the common businesses in the market, and I've realized that whatever they sell today is not what they were selling at the very beginning of their business. If we take for the example of Safaricom, Safaricom is a telecommunications company here in Kenya. Safaricom began as a company that offers telecommunication services, but over time, Safaricom has been able to evolve into various other sectors, such as offering internet services, offering mobile money services, such like M-Pesa. By being able to diversify some of their services and also venture into other opportunities, they have been able to solidify their space in the African tech industry. You'll be surprised that companies like Nokia, which sells phones right now, began as a company that sells toilet paper. Samsung began as a grocery store. Imagine selling groceries. Samsung, the Samsung fridges that we have in our house, that company began as a place that sells groceries. These LG TVs that you see around and these woofers you see around, that company LG began as a company that sells facial cream. Imagine LG selling facial creams. And this company called IKEA, IKEA, began as a company that sells pens. So all of these companies have something in common. They began as companies that sell something, but then over time, the consumer needs kept changing, and they'll also venture into more profitable or more products that have better opportunities for them in the market. I hope this has been fun for you and also informative. And if you like the video, please give us a like. Subscribe to our channel so that whenever we post a new video, you're among the first people to get notified. Stay blessed. Let's meet in the next.